Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Hey, good morning, folks.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat.
Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are.
There it is, team. Morning. Morning, wherever you're tuning in from today.
Early bird gets the worm, they say. Here at Positive, we offer a 6-star team. It's a team that help you at every stage of your wealth creation journey.
Can you hear me now, mate? Apologies for that, everybody. Did not know. I've been rambling on for 10 minutes without you guys being able to hear me. Okay, let's get some. Right, I've made some adjustments. Thanks, Kobe. Appreciate the feedback. What I was talking about was the strategy. All right, maybe I'll just go back and actually repeat some of it. Kobe, I'm assuming that you missed most of it. So my conversation was around interest only and principal and interest. The strategies behind that, when to actually use it. So what I was talking about is that with the majority of home loans, so PPR loans, what we want to do is make sure that it's principal and interest. And there are situations where we can get away with the strategy of making it interest only if you're looking to use that property as an investment in a short period of time. Changing it from a PPR to investment in a shorter period of time, whether it's between 3 to 5 years. But ideally, you want it to have a principal and interest, because what we want to do is we want to pay off non-deductible debt as much as possible. Now, this strategy around interest only on a PPR is, in the future, you're going to upgrade your PPR, but you still want to keep the existing property. And by maximizing the loan on that, or keeping the loan balance high on that, it means that when it converts to an investment loan, then you can maximize the investment. You can maximize the deductible debt. Because what happens often is that on the existing property, you will get an equity release, and then you'll borrow against the new PPR, and that will become your new loan. The strategy around that, often in terms of where I sit with my clients and the conversations I have, is that we actually want to look at selling the PPR when you do a PPR upgrade, because of what it does. It takes the funds and helps you pay off your home loan debt. So it actually reduces your home loan debt a lot faster. Then you take the equity that's available in your home and you use that to purchase your investment property. But again, strategies and conversations with your brokers. Now, when it comes to interest only on investment loans, it's always ideal, but there's been changes over the last couple of years in regards to servicing and how banks assess interest-only loan servicing. So in the past, it was take out an interest-only loan, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, the banks will assess it over 30 years and work out, your capacity to borrow. That's since changed depending on what loan period you want for your interest only. The banks will assess it based on the remaining term. So that means that if it's a 5-year interest only term, you're assessed at 25 years, which means that you've gone from 30 down to 25, which is actually going to affect how much, which it will affect your borrowing capacity. So we have to balance between cash flow and your borrowing power, especially during the acquisition phase. Now, there are a few things that you could do to increase your cash flow. And if you earn an income and you're paying yourself a wage, even if you're self-employed and you pay yourself a wage, you can have a talk to your accountant and have a discussion with them about a PAYG variation. What that means is that you can vary the amount of tax you pay week by week. And so if you've got an investment property and you speak to your accountants, you can change it so that it could potentially go from $1,000 of tax you pay a week to $800, an extra $200 in your pocket, which is actually going to help. If you were to take that and pay off your home loan, it'll help pay off everything a lot quicker because, as you know, interest is charged daily on all your loans. Now, if you have a few properties and they're all interest only, then it does affect your borrowing capacity, because we have lenders who will won't look at your actual repayments. They'll look at the current debt. If it's interest only, how long is the interest only period? What's remaining? And they will assess it based on your P&I on the remaining term with their assessment rate. And sometimes that will blow you out of the park in terms of, how much you can actually borrow. There are lenders out there who will just look at actually what your actual repayments are on the loan and use that in servicing. So there is going to be a huge gap between what some lenders are going to be able to lend based on their policies on interest only, and others who would just look at, what you're actually paying. So during the acquisition phase, what we have to do is balance between our cash flow and maximizing how much we can actually borrow. And lenders will come into play in regards to, having interest-only loans if you currently have them and you want to keep them, and then maximizing how much you can actually borrow. But knowing the fact that the way banks are now assessing interest-only loans, then every time you go back, every time the interest-only period ends, you have to go back and apply for a brand new loan if you want interest-only again. Now, I remember in the past, we could get away with, after 5 years, we'd just ask them for an interest-only loan, and it will be an extension of the existing loan and not a full application again. So that's something else to keep in mind, that if we are looking at interest-only periods and you want them for a longer period of time, then it actually is go back to the lender and actually apply for it again. But I have noticed over the last couple of months that there are a few lenders that are actually looking at increasing the interest-only term. I remember when I was starting broking, the interest-only term, there were lenders who would do 10 up to 15 years, and that got pulled back, and everybody was only offering the maximum of 5 years. But lenders are starting to come back and offer 10-year interest-only terms now. So again, all these are strategies. It is not a set and sort of forget. It's a constant review, understanding that these features actually affect how much you can actually borrow, and it affects the lenders that are going to be available based on whether you're in an acquisition phase for your property portfolio or where you're in a consolidation phase. So I hope that's provided some information and some background in regards to the question behind interest only and principal and interest. Have a wonderful Friday, everybody. Enjoy your weekend, and I will catch up with you guys soon.
Thanks for watching another episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.